Hey guys, Luke here from 3D Tutor. In this video, we're going to work on our stylized house using AI projection tool. We'll make sure to go over additional detail of projection functionality and how to set up a viable asset with generated textures. I'm going to continue off from our previous project that I left off in our last YouTube video, which, by the way, shows the foundation of UV projection using AI texture generation. You don't necessarily need to start off from there, but I'll be attaching a video just in case if you want to. Before we get started though, on our YouTube channel, we create content that is a source of inspiration for those seeking to check out new digital tools and techniques or improve their abilities. However, as much as we would like to allocate more time to the channel, it is not a sustainable source of income. This is where Patreon comes in. By becoming a patron of 3D Tutor, you'll be able to have access to exclusive content, free courses, 3D models, environments, and material textures. By supporting 3D Tutor's Patreon, you are enabling us to continue our projects and empower thousands of 3D modeling students and artists with the resources they need to advance their skills. Finally, we create a bunch of unique online courses focusing on Blender and Unreal Engine projects, which takes you through all the steps from scratch to getting a final piece done, teaching a variety of different techniques involved within a workflow. The courses are available on our Udemy and Skillshare websites. So yeah, thank you so much for your support. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's say we want to add a couple of extra details like a chimney or a door or a window. We can always do so. I'm just going to go back onto my object mode, going to click Shift and A, add a mesh, and we're going to get ourselves a new cube, which I'm going to scale it down, click GY, reposition my section like so. I think that's going to be quite an okay chimney, like so. Just like that. Yeah, that looks all right. All right, anyways, let's go back on through AI generating. And actually, I'm just going to get myself a bit more of a complex shape. This is literally just a cube. I want to have a bit more complexity, not too much. I'm just going to inset a face, going to hit EZ and extrude it a little bit and inset it again. And that actually looks quite all right. Something like this of a shape, I quite like it. Let's go ahead and make use out of that. And yeah, we're going to again position our angle like so. I'm just a bit worried that the other, no, it's going to be all right. So at this point, some of the bit of a house is obscuring the shape of a chimney. So even that's the case, we got to make sure that we get ourselves an angle that is most visible for our chimney. So for example, if we were doing it from this angle, that's not going to be quite as helpful for us since we're not going to be seeing much of a chimney in this area. But if we're doing it like this, we get this entire nice long section for us to make use out of whenever we're generating ourselves a new texture. So, okay, I think I got this nice position set up already. Let's go ahead and make use out of it. I'm going to go ahead and go on to edit mode, select the entire thing, click N to enable this menu, go into the dream. And this time, instead of a stylized house, I'm going to search for stylized chimney, like so. And that looks quite all right. Let's go ahead and click project. We're not changing anything else. We're going to be fine just as is. And there we have it. We got ourselves a nice type of chimney to make use out of, although I don't like the white section on the top. I'm not sure why that is the case. I think it's trying to make a snow. Let me go ahead and redo that real quick. I'm just going to reposition my camera just a little bit and again project it. Each time we're generating it, we don't need to exactly change the angle since it uses a different seed every time, but I prefer to do that personally as it would give us a nicer kind of result. And this is the type of a chimney it's giving us. It doesn't look quite as nice. I'm just going to check real quick through the generated masks, and I think that's the one that doesn't look quite as nice. So we're going to do it one more time. I'm actually just going to zoom out a little bit so we'd be able to get more of that detail out of the house as well. I think it's not picking up the chimney shape because of the context or on where it's at. I think that's going to be a better type of a result now. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. And that looks better, but I don't like the scale of the bricks. Let's go ahead and redo that one more time. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There you go. That looks quite nice. Let's go ahead and make use out of that. I'm going to check how it looks like within our textures. I think that's going to be not this one over here. Maybe this one. Nope. You can scroll down, up and down to see the type of results that we're getting. So this is the one that we got ourselves. As you can see, it's not ideal, but it does give us somewhat of a nice result. We just need to fix it the same way we did previously. I'm just going to grab these and make sure we are repositioning them like so. And I think we can do it like this and like so. Make sure we don't go in a house too much. And yeah, that's pretty much it, how to fix it up. Maybe the sides as well, we can fix them up. But to be honest, what we can do as well is just simply grab them, make sure we have the nice type of a setup. And I'm just going to drag them inwards like so. And that's also going to be quite all right, as this is a type of a plane that's not going to be quite as noticeable over here. But just by doing it like so, by changing a couple of simple touches, we're able to get ourselves a nice type of a chimney out of our house. Now, as for the window, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly create that. So for example, I want to have a nice type of a window on the side. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to quickly just select the house, go into edit mode, click K, and just kind of cut out a nice type of a shape like so. Going to click enter. We're going to get ourselves this sort of a look, and I'm just going to click extrude real quick, or not extrude, sorry. I'm going to click inset it a little bit like so. So the sides would have a bit of a texture while going inwards. Now click GY and go inwards just a little bit like so, not too much because we don't want to stretch out this texture too much. And once we have it like so, I'm just going to position my camera at an angle, and I'm going to go ahead and select this single plane like so. Since we can assign new generated textures, select stylized window like so, click project and just wait. After generating a couple of them, let's go ahead and quickly check the ones we like. And there are a couple of options. Again, we need to scroll back and forth through them, but I quite like this one. Let's go ahead and make use out of it. So for us to go within the list and actually assign this one, we need to basically remember this number. And I'm just going to remember the 3 last digits, so 846. And now we're going to find ourselves 846. Going to select the house, select this, and go ahead and get 846 assign. And we're pretty much going to have this sort of a result. Then I'm going to simply readjust this type of a window like so, get this sort of a result. So it's looking quite nice. It's not a perfect solution, but it's going to give us some interesting results for sure. I'm going to quickly create a door, and I might as well create a roof on the top as well. And I'm just going to position them like so. Going to make sure that everything is visible, nothing is overlaid. Now we can do them multiple objects at once. I'm going to select them from the object mode, go into edit mode for both of them, make sure that everything is selected. And I'm just going to stylize the door front. So going to click project. We're now going to go ahead and select the type of a texture that's on here. I think that's going to be one over here like so. Not going to do too much in regards to this bit over here, but I will actually extend this door a little bit, just to kind of stretch it out a little bit like so, and GZ, maybe even put it back, and of course fix the other side of this type of a roof. So I'm just going to select these, quickly reposition every single UV space. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, by just doing this kind of a setup, we get ourselves a basic type of a house. Like so. It's a very simple type of a setup. But considering we used only like a couple of minutes to set it up, it turned out pretty nicely. And we can see it from different angles, and it's going to look quite nicely anyways. It's going to look quite nicely. One thing I would say though is you might want to consider after you're done with it is to clean up the entire project. And I'm just going to go on to the texture paint real quick, make sure that everything is saved out for all the images, then go on to File, Cleanup, and then we're going to just clean up unused data blocks, clean up linked data blocks, and clean up unused local data blocks. So this should clean up our material slots, hopefully, the ones that we weren't using. And then afterwards, I would recommend you to take down the roughness value a little bit, otherwise it looks a little bit too glossy, for example, like this roof over here. So within the section for let's say the roof, this bit over here, we're going to go on to the material tab and we're going to turn up the roughness value to take off the glossiness. I think it's this one over here, maybe it's this one. I'm just going to quickly make sure that we are going to go back onto the editing mode actually real quick. Going to go on to this. And just click select to make sure that we see which ones are being used. So this one is being used for the entire house. By clicking select, we can see that it applies to the entire thing. And now we basically know which one it is. So we can go on to the roughness and increase the roughness all the way, almost all the way to a 0.9. And this is going to give us a nicer type of result. So it's not as glossy anymore. Finish it off, you might soften up the edges a little bit. So for example, if I were to select this house over here and add a bevel modifier like so, I can lower down the amount of value, which will end up removing the bleeding effect from over here. And this way we're able to kind of soften it up quite nicely. I'm also going to increase the segments by a little bit and select this, make sure this is shades of the smooth. And yeah, this will give us a nicer, softer type of a touch. I can do the same thing for this front section over here as well. Just lower down the amount and increase the segments like so. Make sure it's shade out of smooth, and it just gives you a nicer, softer type of a touch towards this art style. And another thing that you can do is also add that small type of detail to highlight some of the edges. So for example, for the roof, let's go ahead and make sure that it is nicely highlighted. And we're going to select this, go into edge selection, make sure that this entire roof is selected. Actually, I'm going to select this other side as well, like so. Going to click E to extrude, hit enter, and then I'm going to hold click Alt S to kind of inflate this a little bit, just to give it a nice type of an edge around it. As you can see, I didn't do it too much, otherwise you can see it starts bleeding out that sort of a texture. So afterwards, I'm just going to go ahead and hold Alt, go on to edge selection, select this entire edge loop going all the way around this entire house. And now I'm going to hit E, enter, and Alt S, and bring it outwards just a little bit. And just by doing that, we can kind of slightly highlight that bit of an edge for the roof and give that nicer type of a detail towards our house. Yeah, that's going to be it from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Happy modeling, everyone.